Hello everybody, this is my first time doing any type of cast or analysis of any kind. My handle in game is PikesJD, but right now this game was taken just from my one Smurf account that I have. It's a ZvP on Nerism Crypt, and I'm just going to kind of analyze what I did in the game, what I could do better, what I was thinking when different situations were going on, and just try to help out anyone that's struggling in the matchup or just wants to kind of learn a little bit about playing Zerg. Now, a little bit of background about myself. I'm currently a Masters level Zerg on the North American server. This account right here is Diamond right now, but it's not really that big of a deal because most of the people I play at least have general understanding of what's going on in the game and how to play, what they're doing. It's just different levels of micro and macro, it's different, so general strategy will still be fun to learn. Now, most of my games, when I'm doing ZvP, I will always open up 12 pool and then go into 15 Overlord, and then right when the pool finishes, I'll make 2 sets of lings and a queen, and then I'll drop down a hatch at 19. I like doing this build because it pretty much keeps you safe from any kind of, like, if you're getting walled in by pylons on your ramp, any kind of cannon cheese, because you get out those early Zerglings, and then you can also send out your 2 first Overlords as scouting Overlords, which is really nice for just later game if you need to sack an Overlord or even just finding where the opponent's base is right off the bat. Now, as you can see, he ended up pylon blocking me. So that's another nice thing about having the early lings, is you can take that down quickly. But if they don't end up pylon blocking you, what I normally do is if I find their base, like I did right there, I could send in my 4 lings right away, and if they end up Nexus firsting, then, and even sometimes if they forge Nexus cannon, just skipping that cannon, you could actually get straight away into their base and just kind of cause some mining disruption, kill off a few probes, anything like that. Now, I kill off the scouting probe, which is definitely a good thing. Means that there's one less probe on the map from if he's doing any kind of, warp gate. If he's trying to do any kind of 4 gate, which I know he's not. I saw the pylon down here, so he's going to be forward fast expanding. But it's just always good to kill off that scouting worker, force another probe to be made, everything like that. So I got my hatch going down here, keeping up on my larva injects. Also, as soon as that first queen finishes, I always make a second queen right away. That could go to this hatch, and also I always drop down a creep tumor for its first 25 energy right away. Just it's so important in every Zerg matchup to connect the 2 bases, like all your bases together, and even just get creep spread across the map for vision and movement purposes. Now with this build, I tend to delay all my gas, just go completely drone heavy to begin with, and then drop down 2 gas at about 6 minutes into the game. And also, I take my third at right around 30 food. I'm not really precise with it, like exactly 30 or exactly 28, just somewhere in that area. And then keep up on my injects. It should be starting a third queen. Yeah, start a third queen then. And that queen is going to help by throwing down another tumor in this area, and then coming over here to this hatch to have more injects going on. As I said, 6-minute mark, 2 gases are thrown down, and just keep only making drones. Leave these 2 lings at the front of his base. This was bad by me, I should have been running in here, just going back and forth with my lings every few seconds, just scouting to see if there's any upgrades, any +1, anything going on in this forge, because typically, if you see a forge upgrade going on, then you should be expecting some kind of anywhere from 5 to 8 gate pressure coming up around the 9.5, 10-minute mark, somewhere around there. So I got my creep spread going. Queens, this queen's about to inject here, so it's at 15 energy, which is what it started at when it got over there. This queen is also, it's at 25 right now, back down to 0. So my injects are good, throwing down Roachhorn and Evo at the same time around the 7.5 minute mark when you're facing a forward fast expand, because that keeps you safe from the 7 gate. And it's just always good to have that Evo right away, because Void Ray timings could also happen instead of the 7 gate, and you need those spores. Same thing with DTs, so it's just nice to have it as an extra security. And then Roachworm, the roaches are just really good for holding off the 7 gate to have some extra damage, tanking, stuff like that. Now, I could be better on my creep spread, definitely. These tumors have been sitting here idle for the last like 2 minutes, and I haven't done anything with it. So there's one thing that I can improve on. I got +1 coming. I don't always do that, but I have been lately. I've been kind of trying it out. Doesn't finish when the attack comes anyways, because it's too long. But it's just nice to, if you're getting a lot of roaches, to get that +1 upgrade for even if you eventually move in. Now I'm sacking overlords right here. Right over here and over here. I had them positioned. This is at the 9-minute mark. It's probably a little bit late. Could have done it definitely earlier than what I did. But I'm definitely feeling like, I didn't show it on the replay, but I did scout it here and saw the forge upgrading. So that made me think that it was a 7 gate. So let's actually go to the everyone view really quick, see if how many warp gates he actually has. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. So he has 6 gate. So not exactly 7. This is more of an economical build. It's not as all in as if you're 7 gating, especially because he's been making probes the whole time. Notice he's at 52 to my 58. Which 58 is about where I want to be. With this opening, with a 12 pull and delaying gas to 6 minutes, you want to have about 60 drones at the 9-minute mark. So I'm about right with that. And this overlord sees, I didn't really get much information, but I got enough because I saw I saw the forge upgrading, and I saw this gateway, these 4. And now I see the move in coming out, or the move out coming with those 2 lings. And I already had roaches and lings produced. Which I forgot to mention this, is about the 9-minute mark you want to start making roaches and lings if you know it's coming. Also, I should have thrown down these 4s earlier. These were kind of just an oh shit moment, reacting on the fly because I forgot about it. But this is actually a really strong timing. I used to struggle a ton with this 7 gate, 8 gate, whatever, 6 gate timing. I would always lose my 3rd. I would never have enough units to defend, and I would just die outright a lot of times. But, see, look right here with the engagement, try to get the surround with my lings, do as much damage as I can with my roaches, try to get them all engaging, decide to pull back, try to get them to come to the spines, which ends up going for the 3rd, like almost all Protosses will end up doing. So, I just try to keep delaying with my roaches, get as much damage as I can. I should start targeting down sentries here, which I didn't do. There we go. Targeting down some. It's good to get rid of sentries, because the force field is what really kills you with this 7 gate timing. And while this is going on, I just keep making roaches and lings the whole time, just keep streaming them. My injects are still very good at this point. I missed 1 on this guy, but pretty much still hitting all my injects, which is good. Now, something I should have done here was take these 5 spine crawlers, and I should have moved them up to about here, because that way it would cover my natural, my main. It would also get it so while his forces walked by, they would get on the way to my 3rd, they would still get hit. Oh, and I move them up right here, but it's not up far enough. I should have had it even further up. Let's see, keep making roaches and lings. I see that this force is coming up. So just start to get prepared. Bait a little force field there. Then I get my lings kind of surround. I should have pulled these ones back try to loop around more. But at this point, with after how this engagement goes, I know that I have the game completely in the bag. It's really my game to lose if I just mess up horribly. But there's no reason why I should lose from this point on. I mean, I've got 3 bases up to his 2. I've got decent saturation. This one's a little bit under. This base is over, but that's okay. And I now have my Spire about 3/4 of the way done. I've seen a lot of pros do for about the mid game, going with a Roachling Muta style, which I actually really like a lot, because you could have your Roachling to keep you safe from any kind of timing like what hit me with the 6 gate. But then you could also have the Mutas come out relatively quickly once you feel safe enough to where you could harass, any mineral line. You could pick off Stalkers if they're by themselves. If you warps in like 3 Stalkers right here, 8 Mutas will destroy that many Stalkers. I mean, it's no question that you would just win that battle. Now, while that fight was happening, my energy got a little bit high on my queens. It's not too big of a deal. It didn't get too high. I was still doing injects. It's just I was missing some, so that could have been better. I got my creep spread going again now, because creep spread is always important as Zerg. And then I see this expansion come up, and I go straight to go try to deny it. That's the most important thing to do with Zerg, is always try to deny expansions from the Protoss, and just never let him expand. If he gets up to 3 bases, gets him well defended, it's extremely hard to beat a 3-base Protoss. Unless you always got to stay a base ahead, or else it's almost impossible to win. Now I need to keep spreading my creep. Oh, still spreading my creep. This is good. Got to keep that up. I'm at 68 drones, so on 3 base, that's pretty much the perfect number to have. You want to be right around 70, and then now I got my 4th coming up because I knew that he was trying to take a 3rd. Now, one thing that's kind of bad about this game, I never noticed that he got double Stargate here. So since I denied that expansion, he basically just decides that he's going to have to all-in me with the double Stargate, try to make one last big push to try to kill me off. But I got Muta swinging in here, and I do a lot of damage to the mineral line. He ends up losing a ton of probes. I see all the Stalkers coming, so I start to back out. I could have tried to pick off some Zealots, but I'm not going to be too greedy right there. Still injecting, flying around, trying to figure out different areas to enter into the base. Okay, alright, so I know right here I get a little bit bad on my injects. Got to keep those a little bit tighter together. But I'm also maxed out now, which is a big help. After keeping him on 2 base and getting maxed out, now I can just build up a huge bank, keep building up larva, and then know that when he attacks, I could just way outproduce him and just win the game. There's just no question about it. If he's stuck on 2 bases this long, if I crush this push, which is coming out right here, I just automatically win the game. But at this point, I saw the Void Rays. I was a little bit nervous because I didn't have any anti-air besides my Mutas, and I don't have that many of them. But I get a really good surround on all of his ground. But I mess up here by not targeting the Void Rays, actually. But I easily win this battle. As you can see, I'm up in supply. I'm maxed out again. He's at 60, and I'm just pushing in for the win right now. And that's really it for the game. Now, I just win from here on out. He just is leaving the game. Now, some things that I could have done better here was I could have been a little bit better on creep spread, even though it was pretty good. My bases were connected for the most part. I had creep going out to his front door for a nice little highway. I had decent upgrades. I was 1-1 on all my ground units, and my mutas, I believe, were at 1-0. Yeah, they were at 1-0, so my upgrades were okay. My injecting could have been better. You know, I was up to 50 energy on that queen. You know, it was getting pretty high, but still not too horrible. And otherwise, I like my engagements, like the harass I did. I could have left like a pack of Zerglings sitting off somewhere like down here, and whenever he moved out of his base for that one big attack, I could have counterattacked in and just did a ton of damage there also. But that's one thing I've actually really need to start working on more, is leaving lings around the map for counterattacks. It's one thing I'm really bad at. My only real strong form of harassment is mutas right now. That's the thing I'm most comfortable with. And I'm still really not comfortable with the whole ZvP in general. It's always been my worst matchup. I feel like I'm starting to do better now, but it takes time. Anyways, that's about it. I was going up to Infestor Tech here, and I was going to go up to Hive very shortly, but I mean, I already knew the game. I won the game, so I was just starting to stream units. But I was going to be going Hive for Broodlords, and that would go really well with, I had the +1 melee, was going to be going +2. Again, another thing of either attack, carapace, don't really know which, probably attacks. And yeah, we just won the game from then on out either way. So that's my first video. Hope it wasn't too brutal. I'm going to keep trying to put out more stuff, just trying to do some basic strategy and thoughts for lower level players, so hopefully they could maybe learn something they didn't know before. And also it's a way for me to analyze my own games, to realize what I'm doing wrong, so I can try to play better. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.